Before we start, I just want to say I'm humbled by the crowd here. A rare opportunity I have to speak in front of so many people, and especially with a video camera there. And I was thinking about it, and I realized, the truth is we're always standing in front of a video camera. God in Shemayim, God in heaven is always, always having the video camera. It's always there. It's a little metaphor that as we stand in front of the video camera, or whenever it is, and we realize, hey, we're being watched. Guess what? We're always being watched. But actually, Rabbi Guttmacher was speaking before, and I did not speak to him before I came here tonight, but the beginning of his speech was something that I prepared, very similar to it. So I might repeat it a little bit, but I'll share one other idea also. A great Torah sage by the name of Reb Aaron Kotler, who was the Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood Yeshiva, asked the question, as we've heard many, many, many times, probably during this period between Pesach and Shavuos, we've heard that the students of Rabbi Akiva passed away. And what does the Gemara say? Why did they pass away? It says they passed away because they didn't show respect to one another. Gentlemen, I challenge any one of you, gentlemen and ladies, I challenge any one of you here to look through the whole Torah from beginning to end and find anywhere where there's a warning or an indication of, if God forbid someone doesn't show proper respect to his neighbor, to his friend, where does it say that, God forbid, he deserves to die? Never. You'll never find it. I challenge you. If you find it, please let me know. But he asked that question. And I think his answer is so powerful, and I think it's so apropos and very applicable to us here in Emet. And as we go from a 10-week session, we've heard so much Torah, so much capability to grow, and we implement it into our own lives. The answer that he gives is that these students were supposed to be the emissaries, the people to put the Torah to the next generation, as Rabbi Guttmacher said. And the challenge that they had was to be great, as Rabbi Guttmacher said. However, us understanding that the challenge that we have has to be through perfection. And to be a one who transmits the Torah from one generation to the next generation has to be perfect. These 24,000 students, they did not show respect one to another. And their sole purpose in life was one purpose, that would be to the transmitters to the Torah to the next generation. And that purpose they were not able to do because they lacked that one concept of showing respect to one another. And therefore God said, you cannot fulfill your purpose. There is no need for you to be in this world anymore. And therefore that is the reason why God had them pass. Now the question is asked, if that's the reason why they died, why are we mourning? All right, they didn't fulfill their potential, but that's the reason why you mourn? I'll tell you honestly, it is pretty bad if a person doesn't try to fulfill the potential. And that's one of the things at Emet here, we have the 10 weeks. We try to utilize those 10 weeks, after our 10 weeks, to try to push ourselves to be able to be greater and ever higher. But the rabbis tell us the reason is, as Rabbi Guttmacher said, there were 24,000 students who were supposed to be passing the Torah from one generation to the next generation. The level of Torah knowledge that would be passed on pales in comparison to the amount of Torah that would have been passed on if the 5 students pales in comparison to the 24,000. So these 24,000 died and did not allow the Torah to be perpetuated to the next generation. 24,000 as opposed to 5. That is why we mourn. The level of Torah knowledge that we would have had today would have been that much greater. So gentlemen, I just wanted to say there, and gentlemen and ladies, there are 2 things that I wanted to tell you from this, and clear and obvious. How great it is that each and every one of us have a potential. Each and every one of us have a purpose in life. Our job is to try and push our own buttons inside and try to find what that potential is. I'd like to share with you something that I read that I always share as often as I can. And I think it just brings home to light this idea. Rav Shlomo Volby, who is no longer with us, a great scholar, he said a line, and I think it's a beautiful thing to take with us after these 10 weeks. There has never been anyone exactly like you. There will never be another you until the end of time. Every person must remember, I am a distinct individual with a precise combination of talents. I was born to these parents at the interval in history and in this particular place. Obviously, those two things we didn't decide. Certainly, God assigned a specific task to me. I have a special portion in the Torah. The entire world is waiting for me. No other person in the world can accomplish my mission in life. I think that's exactly the message that we have to take from the students of Rabbi Akiva. As Rabbi Aaron Kotler said, that this is exactly the reason why God took them. God said, your mission was to pass Torah on to the next generation. You cannot do it if you have those lacks in your proper character trait from one to another. And because of that, you're no longer able to pass on. Everyone here in Emet has an opportunity. We're all older already now. We're not little kids anymore. And we should try to realize what our mission in life is. As we grow, our future generations grow with us. Rabbi Avigdor Miller, or Rav Gifter, I think the story was said about both of them. It was a snowy day, and he gave a class. He comes to the class. Guess how many students there were in the class that day? Only one. And the rabbi spoke as if there were thousands and thousands of students there. And the student asked the rabbi, you could lower the voice a little bit. It's only me. And what did the rabbi say back to him? He says, you don't understand. He says, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and all the doros, all the generations, until the coming of Mashiach. We, as we are in this stage of our lives, soon, within a year, 2 years, however long it is, till eventually, hopefully everyone here will get involved to become married and have families, and hopefully perpetuate Torah to the next generation. That is our charge, and that is our mission. But the truth of the matter is, if we don't take stock now and realize that that is our mission today, we can't be that much better of parents than we would have been if we realized today our mission and our charge in life. So I just say to everyone here, as we approach Shavuos, which was the acceptance of the Torah, it's an interesting thing if you think about it. The milestones that people accomplish in the secular world, if you think about it, what happens? The milestone occurs, and as time goes on, since that milestone, the feeling towards that milestone slowly but surely ekes away. They don't feel that same excitement. But God told us that every single year we have a holiday that's to renew, to feel the love and the greatness that we have, that we were a chosen nation, that God gave us the Torah. And considering that to be the case, we have a charge in our life to reestablish that connection, re-realize what our potential is and what our mission is in life, to grow, to be able to pass that on to the next generation. Thank you very much for listening.